I ain't gonna get too much into that. But my other thing of business, no pun intended here, MVP, shout out to MVP. He shared a photo of the Hurt Business from back in like 2020. He didn't hold back in responding to the comments now. Because he got Dave Bautista, he chimed in. They left a lot of money on the table with that one, color me confused. MVP replied back, and we were never given an explanation for why. Another fan says, can we get the Hurt Business back? MVP said, Triple H said no. And left it at that. Another fan says, I'm shocked Triple H hasn't been in favor of bringing it back. MVP simply replied, I'm not, with a smirk emoji. And another fan says, the Triple H era is emasculating black men. I'm really hating it. MVP simply said, you see it. Woo. Let me get on my soapbox real quick, because I pay attention. I pay very close attention to how black wrestlers get used in these promotions. It's been obvious to me since he got the pin on the main roster. And it's a lot of stuff that these fans and MVP have been saying. I've been saying this when he took over the pin. I talked about this issue with AEW a few years ago as well, which to their credit, they've been doing better. They have a black passing world champion. TBS champion is a black woman. The person that had the belt before that was a black woman. The longest reigning TBS champion is a black woman. But like, let's go down the laundry list of how wrestlers have been used. And granted, some of these names weren't doing too much before Triple H took over. But like when he took over, a lot of people was just thinking like, oh, you know, he's going to utilize the talent so much better. Ricochet. What was Ricochet doing before Triple H took over?
Not much.
Not much. What has he been doing since? Not much. He's been doing a bunch of nothing. By nothing, I mean losing. Yeah, he had the speed championship and everything, but we didn't see that belt on TV because contractually, they can't have it on TV.
And realistically, the speed title was nothing more than the Diet Cruiserweight title. And Ricochet obviously naturally was the easiest first champion you could have, but that's it. It's the Diet Cruiserweight Championship. That's really all I saw it as.
Let's look at the Street Profits. Street Profits was, woo. Listen, I could talk all day about these because right now, they just exist. They don't do anything substantial. Yeah, they get on TV every week. They get in high-profile matches. That doesn't mean they're being used well in comparison to how they were being used before. I saw these dudes at Money in the Bank still the goddamn show versus the Usos. What have they done since then? Triple H took over like a few weeks after that. Just off and on, whatever the hell they doing with Bobby Lashley. What has Bobby Lashley done substantial since Triple H took over? Nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Put him with the Street Profits. They've been together for a year now. They teased turning heel. Nobody wanted to boo him, so they just turned back face with no explanation.
Right.
And then they stopped being used. I mean, yeah, they got a WrestleMania moment.
It was a Mania moment by default. But how did Lashley fall so far from being where he was? Vince had him booked as champion twice in the span of 2 years. He wanted to put big gold on him all the way back in 2005. We did entirely too much work on the almighty gimmick and presenting him as that threat to let it trail off to where he just, the friendly neighborhood Bobby Lashley. Again, Booker malpractice.
The next person on my list, the New Day. What have they done since outside of their time in NXT? What have they done since? So yeah, you're trying to do something with them now.
Yeah.
By teasing them breaking up.
That's bullshit. I promise you I'll knock this shit over.
I will knock all this shit over. I will right now book a rental and drive my ass to Stanford if I have to. And I will stand as far away as legally possible from the building in politics.
Get the picket signs.
Odyssey Jones got drafted twice, 2 years in a row.
Oh my God.
Hasn't been on TV yet.
The thing that bothers me the most is the fact that so many of these guys came up through Triple H's NXT and getting this treatment now. That's the thing that's blowing my mind. Yes. How did we get to a point where we knew all the right ways to book these guys there then, but now that you have the pen in your hand, you have more real estate to use them in. You know what I'm saying? All these hours worth of TV, and you can't find none. And when you find time for them, what is
You can find
significantly
TV
happening
time
with them?
for the Final Testament and
Oh,
DIY and Bronson Reed, which like I've come around to Bronson, but he don't do a goddamn thing either. But he not part of this conversation right now, so I'm not going to spend that much time on it.
no.
My
It's to the
point
point.
is, a lot of people don't do anything around here, not just black wrestlers, but the black wrestlers stick out to me as a black wrestling fan. Omos got taken off of TV.
Oh,
Omos has been in 1, 2, 3 matches since SummerSlam of last year, and they're all battle royals.
and once again, before the regime change, we had built him in a
To be something.
manner of which, you know, the big men like that in stature haven't properly been built in a while. At least not to the point that they could wrestle well. Like you had Khali and them that, you know, they couldn't really move. Omos can move, and they was booking him, you know, to be that monster guy. So what happened? Yeah, what happened in that quick transition period that now he can't even get booked on TV? We ain't seen him since the Rumble. It was 6 months ago.
The Dre.
Yeah. Right before Mania. You couldn't at least give him a post-Mania angle. Let him jump somebody. Let him jump Sammy.
Yeah, why he can't challenge for the Intercontinental title on like an episode of Raw?
That's what I'm saying.
Cedric and Ashanti, what has he done with them? He teased them doing a partnership. I think they've teamed maybe once or twice on Main Event.
And
niggas ain't watching Main Event, they not seeing it.
This brings me back to, again, Hit Row started in Triple H's NXT, right? You had Swerve. Swerve was already doing decent by himself. But then they presented this concept of this group, and they brought it out, and it was killing in NXT. So naturally, when Triple H was just starting to make that transition, they said, okay, we're going to bring it to SmackDown and let them run. Swerve had already left, but you still had the core group intact. So I'm like, okay, cool. Francis gone. B-Fab is mixed into whatever they're doing with this Street Profits, Bobby Lashley shit. We barely see her.
We also forgot they got let go, and then Triple H ended up bringing them back.
Exactly. So it's like,
do nothing with them.
Right. So now that he takes full control and Vince is gone completely, now it's like, okay, we can do it the way he want to do it. Ashanti got banished off the island. Now he's in this partnership with Ced, which we haven't even seen on TV yet. So it's like, what was the point of making all this backstage stuff to put them together if we're not going to put them on TV? And then, like I said, B-Fab but she's stuck in this thing with them and not getting featured much at all. Francis is gone. He's doing TNA now. It's like, what is changing from the time you in NXT booking these guys to now in Raw and SmackDown? Because Shawn know how to book his black wrestlers. We don't got a problem there. So what's the problem here? The only person who's consistently getting good booking is Bianca and Jade now too.
Now I'm looking at some of these names: MVP, Omos,
right?
Not MVP. I'm sorry. Bobby Lashley, Omos, Street Profits, Cedric Alexander.
Yeah,
all got something to do with MVP in some way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
So if you got any issues with MVP and you taking it out on the people he associated with, that's kind of fucking lame.
That's what I'm saying. Because it's like it's not making sense.
MVP clearly got a problem with him. Let me circle back to that emasculation point though, and I'm gonna just say this: we seen that Top Dollar botch was overplayed for weeks for apparently no reason. Is that not emasculation on low key?
Tell the truth. Listen, Michael Cole obviously has more autonomy on commentary than he ever did in the 20 plus years under Vince's rule. But the fact that he took at least 3 weeks minimum to keep harping that point home as if he had beef with him, like, nah, there's and I said it when it happened, there's undertones there that certain people don't pick up on. And that was definitely more than evident there.
Another thing I picked up on too, Ricochet and the Profits and NXT and how they were booked, he didn't really have to do much to allow them to do their thing. Look at the only black wrestlers that's really had effort put into them under Triple H. At least black male wrestlers. We're talking about black male wrestlers right now.
Yeah.
Velveteen Dream and R-Truth. Look at the presentation of Velveteen Dream and R-Truth, and it's the complete opposite of a presentation that MVP was trying to put together with the Hurt Business.
Right.
This man called R-Truth a buffoon to his face on TV. Velveteen Dream is a very flamboyant gimmick. Some black men can see that as emasculating.
Yeah.
Triple H could not book Hall of Pain Mark Henry.
Oh, no.
That would have fell flat on its face.
Nope.
You can't book a strong black man.
I don't think he can. I know he can.
He's a wealthy white man that was raised in the 70s in New England. He doesn't understand it. That's really what it is.
Even in NXT, Big E was his first NXT champion. Keith Lee, he was a double champ during the pandemic. That was it under his watch. Now you look ahead onto the main roster. Who was he under his watch? Who was he overseeing? Aside from Bianca, she already hit that point that it's like she hit superstardom enough that you can't book her bad because you risk getting backlash from the fans.
It took Bianca getting booked under Vince to really, go to that level.
Thank you.
Because she was getting handcuffed in NXT when Triple H was the booker. After that win streak ended.
Truth be told, if Vince wasn't booking Mania 37, she would not have been the main event with Sasha. Sasha, and I'll give him credit, she was booked well in NXT. But what was she really going to get under Triple H? I mean, Vince was doing like the hot potato with the title whenever she was there. Yeah. So her booking was 50-50 at best. But you take that and put, the two black women in the main event, it wouldn't have happened.
At least there's some effort, like we said, with Bianca right now. And even Jade, there's some effort there. Long term, my expectations aren't really that high.
And again, it's like it's consciously, because at the end of the day, right, Jade was going to get static from every company. But you were the company that went out and you made it happen. You got to sign on the dotted line. You have to book her right. Because that's that button. If you don't give her the right booking, you're going to hear it from all these people.
Facts.
But we pay attention to patterns. Right. And this is an alarming one. And it's like it really took me till I saw this post to really get into what I've been picking up on.
The verdict is out right now. We don't know about Carmelo Hayes, but I do like how Carmelo Hayes ended up getting in the Money in the Bank the day after this shit came out. Triple H was like, I'm going to show them.
Give him the briefcase, then we'll talk.
Give him the briefcase, have him win the title, the world title. Y'all let Triple H slide on a lot of shit. And listen, I love Triple H as a wrestler. I'm going to be very vocal about him as a booker because y'all set the precedent for years about being vocal about the booking.
Damn right.
While we quiet now. I'll admit he do some shit that I enjoy. The shit I don't like, I should be able to say it. And like we can't handle shit with kid gloves. Like we did this shit with AEW for years too. And we seen how that has happened. We handled it with kid gloves. Every time somebody was critical about it, it was, they're a 2-year-old company, let them grow. And it was just like, it's a lot of mistakes you make in year 2 that are going to affect you in the long term. And we've seen it.
And listen, truth be told, and I'm going to use a quote that you said, right? We have to be able, just because we're getting what we want as far as the booking, we got to be able to say that with all the good, we got to have the same energy when it's not. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't to cast no aspersions on Triple H as a booker as a whole, because it's not like he hasn't been inclusive. We've seen Io Sky win a championship. Damian Priest won a championship. He's a champion now. Like, it's not like it's not all inclusive. But again, for us who are watching as fans, who have been fans for as long as we've been, we have to acknowledge things that we don't like when we see it. I was at Mania 5 years ago when I saw Kofi Kingston. Mania. Exactly. I saw Kofi Kingston win that championship. I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to see that in this era, and that's concerning to me. Some of us got kids. They are growing up in this era. So how is it going to look if we got to see that and we're going backwards now? We got to think about it
himself, though.
Somebody like you doesn't get to be a world champion.
Hey, listen, I wasn't gonna go there, but it's like that makes me think back to 20 years ago when that happened. As a talent, okay, fine. It's cringy, but at least he's not booking the show. Now he's booking the show. Now, we're technically in year 2, but again, like you just said, problems in year 2 permeate and they exist and they last.
We're going on to year 3 next month.
That's something to be concerned, especially now that we've grown so deep. The partnership with TKO, the record-setting numbers, the partnerships, TNA, Japan, all this other stuff. We have so much goodwill built up as a whole. But y'all can't be missing out with us.